Hello everyone, this is week 3 and for this week we will be talking on the respiratory system. What is respiratory system? Respiratory system is formed by lungs, windpipe and diaphragm to supply oxygen to the body and remove carbon dioxide. The respiratory system brings oxygen to our blood. The oxygen is then transported around the body by the blood. So the path of oxygen as we breathe in is as below. From nose, it goes to the trachea, then the bronchioles, then it goes to the alveoli inside the lungs, and finally into the blood. Okay? Respiratory system is a series of organs responsible for taking in oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide. The main organs of the respiratory system are the lungs, which carry out the exchange of gases as we breathe in and out. These are the main parts of the respiratory system: the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli, lungs, and finally the diaphragm. The nasal cavity. The nostrils are the opening into the nasal passage that are lined with hairs. Nostrils have cilia. The cilia is a filter that filters the dust and other particles present in the air. They also protect the nasal passage and other regions of the respiratory tract. The pharynx is also called throat. It is the common passageway for both the food and water as well as air. So below the epiglottis is the larynx, or we would say the voice box. Okay. Here, the trachea is known as the windpipe. It is made up of muscles and elastic fibers with rings of cartilage lined with cilia. It will filter the air we inhale and branches into the bronchi. The bronchi are two tubes that carries the air into the lungs. Bronchial tubes also branch into smaller tubes called the bronchioles. Alveoli are grape-like structures at the end of bronchioles. The bronchioles and the alveoli together make up the lungs. The alveoli increases the surface of the lungs for greater exchange of gas to collect more oxygen. It also protects the lungs from bacteria and other harmful microorganisms. The lungs are in the chest cavity surrounded by the ribcage. The lungs are the main organ of respiratory system. This is where the exchange of gas occur. This is a site where oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is expelled. Each lung is covered with pleural membrane. This membrane produces slippery fluid that allows the lungs to glide freely during breathing. And finally, the diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle that controls breathing, which is located at the bottom of the lungs. During respiration, the diaphragm flattens out and pulls forward, making more space for the lungs. So when we inhale or when we breathe in, the diaphragm contracts and pulls downwards. This movement increases the space in the lungs, which pulls air into it more. So when we exhale or when we breathe out, the diaphragm expands.